I actually find that customers will buy from the crew before they'll buy from the salesman. Like the salesman will have a harder time upgrading them to something else than the crew will. And the reason why is
Every contractor says that they're the best, but homeowners don't believe their words anymore. Most people think running a home service business is just about doing the work. But what if I told you the hardest part isn't the job itself? It's the systems that break, the pricing mistakes that even bleed you dry, and the trust you have to build when homeowners don't believe a word you say. So, welcome to the Home Field Advantage podcast. I am Clark Partridge, founder of Dunzo Gutters in Santa's Light, Sacramento. I started both of these companies. I actually started my lighting company with $200, and I started both of these from scratch. So everything you say today is self-generated, of course, with the team behind me. But today we're pulling back the curtain on the trades, and our guest today is Tim Crouch, who has built a few powerhouse businesses by doing things differently in his own way. So if you're a contractor, you're going to hear the moments he stopped playing the hero and started building real businesses. And if you're a homeowner out there, you're going to learn the cheat codes to spotting a liability before they even touch your house. So let's get right into it. How are you doing today, Tim?
let's do it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
So
Okay, awesome. So I want to frame this in the way that the first half of this show will be about the contractor or the business owner out there, and then the back half will be about the homeowner. So we'll speak to the contractors and the business owners first, and then we'll gear over to the homeowners and kind of the cheat codes, kind of the homeowner facing type of questions, so that we get really good value to give to the home, or sorry, to give to the contractors, and then the other half will be giving really good value to the homeowner out there, because that's part of my goal with this podcast is to not only give value to the contractors like ourselves, but also, if a homeowner was to watch this, they can also give or get value how the contractor is trying to earn their business, and that is part of my goal with
good
this.
deal.
Okay. So a lot of contractors pride themselves on outworking everyone else, but that's exactly what keeps them stuck sometimes. So, what's one specific task you held onto way too long because you thought nobody else could do it right? And what was the actual cost to your business before you finally let it go? I know you got a few different businesses. You got a Christmas lights business. You have a gutter business, which I believe you sold. I don't know if you're
Yep.
still running that to this day, but I know you did that a long time ago. And then I know you have a VA company, I believe, as well. So I know you have a few different things going on. But as far as this question, um, what's kind of a task, a specific one that you held on, Tim held on this way too long before he delegated that out? Uh, Give us an example or two.
So I guess initially when I first started the gutter company that I sold, I do have a gutter company now, but I'm pretty off hands on. I own part of Mother's Gutters. Grant's pretty much running it. As far as like going back when I first got started and I started the company that I sold, I had that technician mindset. It's like I didn't even my helpers, I kind of held them back to a certain extent because I felt like I was the only one that could maybe put this corner together good or just things like that. So just getting off the truck was the hardest part, but I think like the thing that really moved the needle for me that I almost would have never even got off the truck if I didn't do was just getting rid of the phone. Because like, being on the truck, trying to do the estimates, trying to do everything, it's just like you're not answering the phone the same way if you're on a roof trying to do an install as if you would if you're sitting at a desk and you could just go through the motions and get them logged in the CRM. And it's just so that was the thing that really moved the needle for me. I feel like soon as I got rid of that position, well, I don't feel that way. My business literally doubled the next 12 months. And then the following 12 months after that, it doubled again. And that's just would not have been possible without having someone helping me organize the chaos.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so years ago, Tim was installing, and then it sounds like you were talking about the receptionist or the CSO or whatever you call that. By the way, I've created a nice name for a receptionist, which is a first impression specialist, aka a
I like that.
receptionist, right? So that's kind of the first person
True.
that
Very
comes in.
true.
They call the business. That's literally like the first impression that someone would have about your business. So super critical role. But anyways, okay. So Tim was out there installing at one point in time. He was answering the calls, doing the work. So just so I'm clear, and whoever is watching this right now is, did you hire that first impression specialist, the receptionist first while you were working? Or did you get off the truck so you could receive those phone calls and be intentional and focused on someone that's receiving that? Can you clarify that?
Yeah, I hired someone first. But because of that, it was like 3 to 4 or 5 months later, I was able to get off the truck. It allowed me to focus on training my guys, and then, just if you think about it this way, man, if you got 5 phone calls that don't get answered throughout the week, who knows how much business you're losing, and even if you call them back, you made it more competitive. So all I know is, like, my business started doubling, so I had to get off the truck or else I wasn't gonna end up getting 2 crews going. So it kinda helped me force to level up because we were just getting more efficient, and it made it easier to get off the truck.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Is there any tips or secrets that you found out with all that experience of hiring a receptionist? Let's talk about this receptionist role because that's a pivotal role there. Where have you found success? What type of individual would you say um, that you know provides a really good service for your company? What type of personality and what type of person thrives and flourishes in a receptionist role? Have you found?
Yeah, I mean, I've done pretty good. So I've only really hired 3 of them because I happen to have one that's worked out for, like, 8 years,
Nice.
so it
Yeah.
worked out pretty good, but I feel like the type of personality she is and why it really works out is she's really good with customers. So, like, they gotta actually care. If they don't care about customers and they don't have empathy, like, it's just usually not gonna work out in a front end, because like you said, that is your front end. They're representing you. It's the first person they talk to. So you want it to be someone that's warm and friendly, but you also want it to be someone that's, like, task oriented. Like, sometimes I even have to try to slow her down a little bit because you want someone that when a task gets put in their plate, in front of them, it just gets done. Like, you don't want someone that puts stuff off. I'd rather have someone that just is executing all day, even if sometimes, like, ah, man, I wish we didn't do that yet. But I rather that because things are getting done versus someone who's like got a pile of lists of things to get done and then just nothing's getting done. So you want someone that's like really action oriented, that the type of person that it's going to drive them crazy if there's a notification in the email box. That's the type of person I look for.
Are you a type of person like that personally? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got someone on my team. She's like, Clark, like, you give me tasks to do. Like, I cannot let it go. Like, I can't sleep at night unless I get it done. Obviously, if it's a bigger project, I got to let it go. But
Yeah.
to your point, Tim, it's like amazing to have someone that's like, that's how their brain is wired and it works is like, give me your priority things to do. I'll knock them off and keep moving forward. And they
Yeah.
really thrive off something like that. Entrepreneurs' brains typically don't work like that. So I'm
If you have them take a personality test, you'll find that most of them are like if you're into MBTI. I don't know if you know Myers Briggs, but
yeah,
you got like a perceiver and you got a judger, and it's usually the guys are the judgers that just get stuff done. The perceivers sit with things longer. So I
yeah.
don't know. You can always give them a personality test first.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing to implement. For sure. I know there's a 4 or 5 main ones out there, and I know they all have
Mhm.
their own unique way of doing it. So not one personality test is good for everything. It's
Right.
this personality test is good for, it's strong here, but it's weak here. So use it at your
Yep.
own discretion, do your own research. For sure.
Yep.
Is there anything else you would say to build upon that receptionist role or that business owner who's the operator, maybe he's only got one crew or even two crews. He's still doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Is there any other key things that you would want to say to someone out there that's the operator, the contractor who's kind of in that middle gray zone?
Just trying to have clear expectations. Like if you could write out SOPs for them and have systems in place, it's going to make it easier than just throwing someone in place and then figuring out. And what I mean by that is like having systems of how they are to answer the phone. So if you have like an SOP of how the phone gets answered, how it gets scheduled, the estimates, and just all the step by step processes. How you do scheduling when a job closes. So like what's the process when a job closes? It's like it's going to be different depending on your company. Like if you're a smaller company, you might train that person to get them on the schedule immediately. Like if you're running a few crews, I like to have a certain scheduling day. So I'll just set the expectation that, we're going to give you a call on Thursdays because we do our schedules on Thursdays and we're going to get you on the schedule for the following week. And then so it's just, I'm just setting the systems in place for her to run into. If you have those ahead of time, it's going to be a lot easier for that person, and they got SOPs so they could always resort back to.
Okay. I would like to also build on the fact that if you are a contractor out there and you don't have those systems put in place, my pro tip is just kind of where I started when I did that, which is be where you are and start where you are. So if you literally don't have an SOP, just start writing down what you actually do, and that's literally your system now. So just even though if it's probably really broken, but at least you have something in writing to describe what you're doing, and obviously use the help of AI to
Oh,
document
yeah.
that for you, right? So just write it basic, right? Okay, this is what I do when this happens. This is what I do when this happens, and just do what you normally do, and just get it in a document and then have someone. This is another pro tip: have someone outside of your company run through that system, and we just call it a field test, and have them field tested. They'll see all the little gaps in your existing system, so that way you can fill the gaps where things are where they're being broken. So a couple pro tips right there.
Yep.
Don't overwhelm yourself out there. Don't overwhelm yourself. I have 7,000 SOPs to write. Just start with, how do you answer the phone? Okay.
That's the main one. How do you answer? How do you schedule?
How do you schedule it? Okay. Just get those one brick at a time. Okay. Everybody complains that nobody wants to work anymore. I think we've all heard that. But the best companies, in the United States or just even in your local market, every local market is going to have that big company that you know of, whether it be HVAC, whether it be a plumbing one, maybe even a Christmas light one, right? Something like that,
Yep.
or even permanent lights or a landscape lighting company. Everybody has that local market. They're your company that they know of, and they still find great people. At least that's what it looks from the outside looking in. What is the one hiring filter or interview question that you use, Tim, that instantly separates a top performer from someone who's going to drain kind of that culture that you've instilled in your companies and that team energy? What's can you
So, like, if I'm hiring, what's a question that I ask?
Yeah, like what's a key point of focus that you're locking, like it's a green flag or a red flag that you would lock in to someone like this question really gets the most out of this candidate.
I mean, it's hard to say because I don't know how to put it into words, I guess, because I'm kind of like intuitive on that. And unlike most people, where they'll recommend hiring someone that's green and training them, I'm not that type of leader, to be honest with you. I always kind of wanted to hire someone experienced and maybe more experienced than me, or um, so because of that, it wasn't hard for me to tell if they were good or not, just because I know my industry so well. I'm able to ask them like industry questions to know if I'm being bullshitted or not. So it might be a different story if you're hiring someone that's new. Then I
Well, let
guess
me
it might
ask you
be
that.
more like
Let me ask you
character
this.
questions.
Let me ask you this is your Christmas light company,
Yeah.
the very first year that you did that, so you hadn't done it yet. What were some things looking back now, that you're really successful doing it now? That first year when you're going into it, what in hindsight that worked well for you at that time, you think?
So now it's interesting with me because even when I go back, like to my other company, not just the Christmas lights, most of my hires have been like recruitments. And so what I do is I got a good base of, first off, I don't think most people want to work for most companies because I don't think they're worth working for. Um, but what I like to do is recruit from within. So the first year I hired, it just so happened I was able to hire my brother-in-law, my son, and then someone that I knew, from high school. I'd never worked with them before, but it ended up working really good, and I developed my first team that year,
Mhm.
first season. So I'm going into season 4. I have 100% retention rate so far. I may lose like 2 people that I don't want this year, but other than that, like, I got good retention rate. So year 2, what I did was I had, like, my lead guy do the recruiting. So he recruited. I find that when you recruit from within, they typically fit the company culture because nobody wants to bring on their friend and then them be disappointed by them. Like, everyone wants to bring on someone that they don't feel is gonna disappoint the boss. Most people don't wanna bring on someone that's not gonna work out. So they really don't. So the recruitments tended to work really good for me. With the gutter company, I had like a $500 sign-on bonus if someone stayed for 30 days and they were experienced. But I think the main thing that keeps people from hiring and why they feel like it's hard for them to get employees is simply they're just not a good company to work for. Or they write this ad and the ad just like, you must be able to do, you must be able to do this. And it's like, okay, great. But like, why would I want to work for you? And so, like, going back to my install days when I was, getting paid percentage to do jobs, like, if I was looking for a company to work for, like 9 out of 10 companies I just were not interested in. So I think branding matters. I think having a good brand, I think paying well, I think, that them feeling like this isn't a dead end and this is somewhere that they can come and grow, or that they're not gonna come there and you run out of work in 2 weeks because, like, a lot of us gutter guys and stuff have experienced that. You go over to a company, they think they have a lot of work, that's why they're hiring, and then you eat through it, so I feel like skilled guys are a little bit more leery of who they work for, and so if you are an actual good company to work for, that's why a lot of these bigger companies don't have problems getting more employees because, like, people feel safe there. It's like it's a big company, they're gonna be around for a while. So I think starting with good branding is a good place to start.
What else besides branding would you say that would be, um, every business owner and their business is just so unique, so I know that it's hard to just generalize everything.
Yeah.
But if we were to generalize it, um, which is why kinda one-to-one coaching that I know you offer, it would be very, very helpful for a business owner to get in a group with Tim to really individualize it. So, a lot of this is, it's helpful, but it is general, but if you really wanna go deep underneath the surface and get to the root causes of, bottlenecks and friction points in your business, get with a guy like Tim, or someone specifically in your industry. I highly recommend going with someone in your industry who knows the business, from the foundation and up. So if you're looking for coaching for, uh, really in-depth analysis, numbers, operations, all the things, financials, get with a person, or mentor that's been in the business, like a gutter business, like Tim, someone that's in the Christmas lighting industry, like Tim or myself, or the VA company, like Tim, right? So, anyways, that's all to say is like everyone knows where they're at. Find out where you're at because if you're like a $250,000, $500,000 revenue company operator, um, it's going to be way too expensive and above your head to go to a $10 million operator. It's just, you can still
Yeah.
earn and plug and play, but it's not, you're not anywhere close yet. Maybe go to the $1 million company or the $2 million company, learn from there because you're
Yep.
way closer to them. You can get way more meat off the bone, if you will, by learning from someone that's closer to you but above you. Um, you can learn a lot more in that fact, I would say.
I know when I get someone on the phone when I'm consulting them or on a Zoom call,
Yeah.
the first 30, 45 minutes, I'm just asking questions. Because I have to have a complete understanding of everything. Because there's so many different facets, and No one's in the same spot. Like I can get a $3 million gutter company, and you think, okay, they're doing really good, and then you dig into it's like, holy shit, they're throwing away like $1 million or so it's just like,
Yeah.
everyone's in a different spot, and um, you got to find that bottleneck, like what your exact bottleneck is in the business, and then fix that problem first, and then move on to the next bottleneck, but one at a time.
Yeah. Simply put, is like we're gonna diagnose the problems before we prescribe the
Yep.
solutions, right? We can't really
Correct.
provide adequate solutions without knowing what your real problems are. So it's like diagnose, then prescribe, just like a doctor would, right? You have no
Yep.
idea. You're a
Exactly.
car mechanic. What's going underneath that hood? Okay, I have no idea what I'm going to charge you. I have no idea what's going on. Let's get underneath the hood. Then we can figure out what to do from there. It's like
Yep.
it's a red flag if someone's like, "Yep, here's the solutions to your problems." Like, you don't know nothing about me, right?
Mhm.
Uh, there's a massive difference between growing revenue and actually scaling a profitable operation in a business. When you hit your biggest growth spurt, Tim, what was the very first system that completely broke down, and how did you have to rebuild it so your company didn't collapse? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if I'm looking at every business has problems. No business is perfect, and you're gonna have problems with it that you got to solve. But like, say if I'm looking at my Christmas light business, I wasn't thrilled with my retention rate the past 3 seasons, or the past 2 seasons, because you don't count the first season. But it was predictable. Like if I would have realized what it was the second season, I wouldn't have been blindsided by it by the third season, and it was the same. And so, like, it's like, okay, that's a problem. It's not a huge problem because I have a decent retention rate, but it's a problem to me because I'm not keeping 99% of them. And so, like now this year, I'm going to be going into it with a 3 year contract. They don't have to do it, but I'm going to offer them a 3 year contract. I'll give them 10% discount, lock them in for 3 years, and then make it real low risk to get out of. It's like, okay, if you're not happy with me, you could get out of it the following year, but you just got to give me back the 10% discount, because if you didn't lock it in, then you shouldn't have got the discount. So it's really low risk. I have a friend that did it. He did like 284 jobs, and he only had 4 back out. 3 of them gave him the 10%, and the other one he's just like, whatever. But
Yeah.
that's way better than my 67% retention rate, and so, like, I figured out what the problem is. Like, I wish I woulda knew this year 1 because I'd already be past $1 million, light company. But it's like, okay, whatever. Like, I found the problem. I'm gonna solve it this year. And then, sure, the first 3 years, I'm gonna still have to play games with getting those back on, with them not being on, contract. But at least everyone moving forward, I'm keeping?
1000%. I'm in year 12 doing Christmas lights. And to your point, as you literally just said it, I wish I would have done these multi year agreements in year one or year two, even.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I'm going to do to all my new customers and kind of slowly roll it into my existing customers. But
Yep.
really, the bottleneck, literally right now, is we're moving warehouses right now and putting
It's fun.
proper bins next to each other and all the things. It's like, I literally have been trying to connect with the 300 plus clients that are all going to return with us, and it's just, it's kinda like
Impossible.
whack-a-mole. I gotta whack 'em all the way from July 1st. We started marketing, Christmas and July 1st, and so it's basically this cat and mouse game all the way until we figure out if they're gonna install with us because it's, been a year by year thing. So it's like, "All right, we did all your lights last year. Hey, are we gonna do them this year or not?" Like, or I don't know, right? And so it's just this whole, you do it one year, you get through the year, then you do it again next year, and that's really exhausting.
Yeah.
It's
Let's get
exhausting.
rid of
So if
this
I got like,
problem.
"All right, Kathy, I would do your job for $1,500 this year and the next 2 years. Let's do that. So, we don't have to think about this. We'll install it about the same time every year with the same display. And of course, if you want to change anything, let us know. But like, we're going to do this the next 3 years and we'll save you a little bit of money that way. So that way it's like, oh, no, hey, operationally, like we know what's coming back. We don't have to plan
Yeah.
and reach out to them and do this whole cat and mouse game. It's so
Yeah,
annoying.
this whole game.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's so I literally just have my team dialing, texting, leaving voicemails every single day, just repetitively until we get a yes or a no, right?
I do like how Christmas season comes to an end because then like you could look back and kind of be reflective, and it's a business that gives you time to think to improve, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of good things about it, a lot of bad. I hate the fact that we have to pile in a year's worth of work in a few months and then just and then wait again basically till
Yeah.
the actual installs. But any real Christmas light company that has been doing it at a high level knows that it's not seasonal. You got to pretty much plan on
Right.
there. It's like they've been
Yeah.
planning since April essentially. So uh
Yep.
it's just a different beast for sure. Anything else to build on that, Tim, before we jump to the next question, which is there a specific system that you would recommend to a business owner that you would want them to implement before it breaks down?
Like an operation system.
Yeah, let's do an operation system. Yeah.
I think the main thing that breaks down on operations is culture. And I think that having some type of system in place to get ahead of it so that you keep a good culture, like weekly meetings go a long way, but I think maybe 95% of companies aren't doing them. It's just like you're not going to be married and not spend some time with your wife every week. It's like you shouldn't really have employees and not spend 15 minutes a week with them, in a meeting, focus on them in the business and being one, it's everyone's on the same page. It's gonna roll a lot easier than if you got everyone going which direction, and that meeting kind of keeping everyone on track. So I
I
think
agree with
culture
that
is that
for
number
sure.
one.
Okay, so that's the system that you've been implementing, which is a weekly team meeting with, let's say it's your Christmas light company. You got everybody coming into the shop to do that team meeting to
Yep.
review the goals and whatever else your business is trying to do, right? That's what you're doing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let me ask you this from one Christmas light owner to another. Um, have you thought about the idea or doing, let's say you're operating 7 days a week. Are you having your installers come in? Uh, are you meeting with the installers 5 minutes before they go to like, hey, here's just the what to look out for from today and just going over a quick like
Yep.
install plan with the team? Like, all right, you have 5 jobs today. Here's Karen's. All right, go over just at a high level. Here's what to look out for just to make everything kind of run smoothly and efficiently. Are you doing that on a daily basis to set them for success?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much I've always been like that, even with my gutter company. So like with the gutter company, I wore no hats. Like I had two sales guys, I had the office, I had multiple crews out there. I think five of them. Um, but I always came in the mornings. They didn't know what I did all day. Like I might have been done by 9 o'clock in the morning, but I was always there in the morning to usher my crews out and to just show that I'm there and I care about my business. So I think it's important to meet in the mornings and get the crews off personally.
Okay. Are you showing them the jobs before they go out?
Yep.
You are?
Hmm.
Okay. So you got 2 or 3 crews running or whatever and making it up.
Two crews. I got two 4-man crews right
Yeah.
now. And I'll
Okay.
probably have three this year.
So you'll just at a high level run through each one of those individually. Just hey, this is
With the lead guy.
with the lead guy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
lead guy. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And then just keep that at a really high level because they obviously know how to install, but to make their job instead of it being 2 hours and kind of throwing them to the wolves, if you will. It's like let's
Right.
slim this down by 30 minutes. Okay, here's where you're gonna run your power and just what to look out for with the client, all the things, right? And just set them up for success.
And then cut, notes because you're not going to remember everything. So I think it's important that like when you're on an estimate doing it, that you leave company notes in the CRM,
Here, yeah.
so that that's something to revert back to. Something as simple as making sure the office has gate codes in there. So if they have to,
Pro
that
tip,
could kill you
that is a
30
huge
minutes.
pro tip. Get the gate codes, confirm with the client if they have a gate, whether it be
Yeah.
like to the neighborhood gate, that's the first filter. Okay, get that gate code.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times how frustrating it is Well, if you're doing it
Oh,
yourself, okay, and that's super frustrating. Okay, you're going out to your car, you got the whole thing, you got your guys with you or behind you. You get to the gate. Oh, okay, call the client. They don't. Now you're sitting there for 20 minutes sometimes.
yep.
Okay, there goes 20 minutes gone. That's the
If you're a
first thing.
homeowner, give your gate code up.
Okay.
Offer it.
Yeah. So early and often and frequently ask the client if they have gate codes for the neighborhood entrance. And then sometimes if it's a unique house, sometimes the house has its own gate code or side gates or anything like that. Like get the gate codes so that the customer does not even have to be home or there's literally just zero friction within you going out to fulfill that job, like even as small as the gate code or unlocking it, or if they have pets, literally get all that, put that on the instructions inside of your CRM so that when they pull up, Tim Crouch uh, install, they just look at the instructions, gate code 5555. Okay, make sure that the gate stays locked because they have crazy dogs out in the backyard. Like that goes, it's a blind spot that you don't see until it happens to you, and, like, one
Yeah.
time is, like, a pain point, so make sure that you're, um, doing that the day before. I don't know. There's systems to figure that out that just get your receptionist, get your lead installer, make sure that, "Hey, like, is there gate codes?" Like, just make sure that they're in the instructions, like, any other
And then
small tips out there like that?
you another thing that'll help because some people won't give their gate code until you get there. So
Yep.
like make sure you're using that on the way button. If if you're using Jobber, text on the way or call when you're on the way 30 minutes ahead of time. That way, like by the time you get to the gate, like if they'll have you called in.
Yeah.
You gave them some type of notice because that,
Right.
that could help as well too.
1000%. Okay, kinda going off on a little, I don't even wanna reach out to my next question because I am more interested in this part of it, specifically Christmas lights. This, you can generalize this, but okay, you show up to the job, your lead installers and the team is there doing the job. My big focus this year is to recommend upselling with my lead technicians
Yes.
on site so I'm not having to buy more customers nearby. Okay, how do we generate more revenue with the existing client with that lead installer team? Okay, I'm not the one out there. Tim's not the one out there. Of course, we're typically the best salespeople there doing it. So how do you train your crews to upsell to the clients effectively? How are you going to do that this year?
I did it last year. I gave a 10% incentive on revenue or whatever they sold. It's like generally that's what it's gonna cost you anyways to have a salesman go out there. I actually find that customers will buy from the crew before they'll buy from the salesman. Like, the salesman will have a harder time upgrading them to something else than the crew will, and the reason why is because they're not looking at it as like, say if it's gutters or something, not necessarily just lights, but say if it's gutters, right?
Yeah.
They're looking at it as this is a technician just telling me a problem that I actually have. And they're not looking at it as like this is a sales guy just trying to sell me. So it's more of like order taking. Like so if you could just get your guys order taking, like
Yes.
they could add a lot of stuff on and it's just educating the customer and making them aware of what problems they see and then give them a solution for it. And that's the upsell. And it's not making them great salesmen, just making them great order takers because that's why it works for them. Like they know they're the technicians.
Yeah, I think there is something to say about like the homeowner buying the service and then the actual work. Like let's say from the customer's journey, sales rep comes out there to facilitate the sale. They get the sale. Okay. We send out the install crew to do the install. There's something to say that when the install person or crews out there getting their hands dirty, actually doing it, the homeowner, I think it's subconsciously is like, okay, they're the one actually doing the work. They're here doing the work. Oh, now that I see that they're doing work, now I see some more issues, or they're the expert. I am not. I'm just going to ask
Right.
everything that I think that I should be asking them to just see how else they can help me. And a lot of that conversation either gets missed or the homeowners kind of feeling a little, not pressure, but some things just don't come up in the sales conversation as they would when the actual service is happening. Um, no matter what service it is, I feel like. And so
Right.
I am very bullish and very big on the fact that one of the biggest opportunities for a lead installer, if they can get trained and really learn how to upsell the client, there's so much. I'm almost jealous of that lead installer position because there's so much opportunity in that
There is.
position to upsell the client. And I know that a lot of installers out there are kind of like blue collar. I don't want to sell anything. I just want to do the job. Okay. That's a mindset issue, and the fact that we're not even gonna sell them anything, we're just gonna recommend the things that we're seeing. So, if we're
Yeah, you're helping the customer.
you're
Like you
helping
got
the
to be help.
customer. Yep,
Yeah.
and I even sell them. I'm just, "Here's what would look better here. Here's what I recommend." "Oh, how
Yeah.
much does that cost?" Actually, give me a couple minutes, and I'll get you a price." "Oh, it's $300." Let the client decide, don't decide for them, right? Like,
They'll do it 9 out of 10 times when it's installed recommending it.
I swear to God, yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a higher close rate with that installer pitching it
Yeah.
than a sale, like, the opposite is that, "Alright, let me call my sales rep, he'll come out here and do it," like,
Yep.
I don't know how other operators facilitate that. I guess it depends on the service and the unique, proposition of it. Maybe, you know what I mean? But, like, if you can try to train your lead installers to pitch the customer on site, major key.
Yeah.
Figure out a way. So that's a big thing that I'm gonna be training in the shop is role playing. I'm gonna do a lot of role play this year. Um, doing the upsell training and how to get reviews at the door. Um, we literally roll out a red carpet for our customers. So when we roll out the red carpet, we ask for the review. Okay. There's a certain way that we would want to ask for the review. So it's not pushy and all that things, and it's
Yep.
frictionless to the customer. So that's a
You know,
system,
you have to be
guys.
careful
It's a
with now
system.
that they just I was just reading an article about it the other day. Google's changing their algorithm, and you got to be careful about having them say the installer's name. Like if the installer's press run for the review, they're starting to penalize on that.
So okay, so just don't put the names on the review. So if it's, Clark.
Yeah, yeah, you know how, like, a lot of companies are training their guys to, have the homeowner, ask for their name to get put on the review and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just read an article about it. It's new. They just changed these algorithms, but that's something that they're penalizing. They're just cracking down on reviews. Is what
That's
it is.
interesting.
So, and then
Yeah.
like having your friends do it, like they're able to pick up on that's bullshit too, and that gets penalized too. So it's just like Google's wanting more just like real authentic reviews now. Without too much pressure is what it seems like. So it's like, you just gotta be careful more careful
We just
nowadays.
gotta pivot a little bit. You don't need to name
Yeah.
it my name, just mention our business, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Just keep it.
Yeah, you still gotta ask, still gotta ask and send your automated things, but
Yeah.
just pivot a little bit.
Okay, pro tip, this happened to me yesterday. I went out for a permanent lighting quote. They ended up not doing the business with us. That's okay. Um, I'm an opportunistic type of person, okay? Jerry, I know we didn't do business together. I know, it's not a good fit right now. All good, but if you appreciated my service and our company and how we responded to you and you've had a positive experience, even though we didn't, aren't going to do the service for you, would you mind leaving a positive review on Google? I'll just send it to you when I get my truck right here. Oh, dude, I would love to. Like, I know, like, it's just too much money for me right now, but I would send you a review, like, send it to me. I said, cool. And that's something
I'm excited about that.
like I got a review out of that. And so if I lose a deal on the site, I just want to make the most out of it and just like not just walk away. And, of course I'm going to try to learn from the situation. But if I can get that review count up organically and naturally to the client, I mean, I'm at 323 reviews. My goal is to get to 500.
Nice.
That's just another way to get your review count up organically and to make the most out of your loss, if you will, right? I still
Yeah.
got a job, but I still got a review out of that, and that's valuable to a company.
I like it.
Pro tip.
I mean, you paid for that lead, so at least you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, yeah. My God, I don't want to just not walk away from this job with nothing. Like, leave me a review with a picture or something, right? Uh, We see so many contractors bleeding out on their free estimates or racing to the bottom on price. What's a specific pricing mistake or belief you had early on that was destroying your margins, and what was that moment you changed it?
I mean, going back to my early gutter days, I just didn't know how to price, and I don't think most guys starting do because you'll see them post on the groups. What should I be charging? Like, I don't know. Like, so I think the worst thing you could do is like look at the neighbor next to you and see what he's charging and base your prices off of that. So price off margin. Everyone has different expenses. I'm a firm believer in having like 60 to 65% margins, personally, so I think pricing that way is a huge mistake. If you could learn pricing early on, like with the Christmas light business, I'm going into it premium. I'm going to be $10 to $12 a foot, and I beat away probably 40% of my estimates by telling them I have a $1,500 minimum. And so it's just like I only want to talk to people that are serious. I know when I did my Clipper course, I don't know if it's true or not true, but they said that 20% was like the average close rate for the industry. And that's probably true. But when I give them my $1,500 minimum, I'm having like a 55% close rate because the people that I'm going to are already kind of price conditioned and pre qualified that this isn't going to be a free, cheap service, And so if I add all those back in, it would probably be right at 20%. But I'm just not wasting my time with all those people.
So
So
you're
I give it a
saying the
good minimum.
difference, one key difference is qualifying them with a minimum. That's how you get above the industry norm of 20%. So let's say it's 20% as the industry average. You're saying that qualifying them with your pricing by giving them a minimum
Yeah.
that weeds out these people
Yeah.
here that are
Wasting my
serious,
time.
which would raise your close rate. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have a ton of advertising and you only got some yard signs out or something, by God, do every quote that you get. If you don't have a lot of quotes, do all of them. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I just got a different strategy. I'm trying to do. I believe that volume creates selection. I believe is that I have a lot of volume of leads and I'm not going to be afraid to price myself where I should be. And so I just make sure that I have a ton of leads. So I'm getting a ton of leads where I can afford to do that. Don't do it if you're only getting a few leads a week. But
Yeah.
if you're setting up the model that I have, yeah, I don't have time for all that. And I would definitely be wasting my time and I would have 20% close rate and, you know,
Yeah. I understand that. Okay.
yeah.
Are you ever gonna change that as far as, like, giving a threshold of a minimum? Do you find that that's a, do you think there's opportunity to not offer a minimum and then, whether it's a virtual consult or a discovery call or going out on site? Is that I guess, is there any ways of thinking about that other than just, like, $1,000 minimum, whatever your minimum is, depends on what service you're doing, but, like, instead of giving them just a minimum to, you know, qualify them. You're qualifying with them with that, but is there other ways of thinking out there than not just giving them a minimum to qualify them?
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing virtual, I probably would. Or say if I had um 2 sales guys, and I just needed to fill up their schedules and hopefully they're a better sales guy than I am. So it's just like but no, the game that I'm playing right now, it's just volume and it's not worth it.
Yeah, especially when it's October, November for Christmas lights.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you'll get however many calls, 20, 30, 40.
But even in the gutter industry, it's like I used to do clean outs for real cheap, and then I'm like, screw this shit. I'm doing clean outs for a minimum. And so I sold a little bit less clean outs, but I made the same amount as if I did more clean outs. So it's just like it evened out. And now I got less wear and tear on my vehicles and stuff. Like you're actually profiting when you're doing a job instead of just spinning your wheels and, beating up your vehicles.
Okay. Okay, so for the Christmas light owners out there, okay, pro tip out there, what I found. This might sound kind of stupid, but um, I just run it from time to time to time and time again. Is when you're in the season of September, October, November, December, okay, they're gonna call you. They're gonna say, "Hey, um, I want a quote for Christmas lights." Okay, I have found my personal experience and other people that if you do not specify they want Christmas lights, the seasonal ones, or are you talking about the permanent year round ones that you leave up year round? If you do not clarify that at almost the first part of the conversation, you will go down a road where you have a 10, 20, 30-minute conversation and you thought that they were talking about Christmas lights the entire time, but they thought they were talking about the permanent ones. Just do yourself a favor, clarify that at the beginning of the conversation because you will waste so much time by not doing that.
A
Have you
good
found
point.
that to be true? I find that like that's one of the very like ding ding ding. Hey, Clark, I'm looking to get a Christmas lights quote. I was like, oh, are you talking about the seasonal Christmas lights ones that we leave up seasonally, or are you talking about the permanent ones that color change and we leave those up year round? Like,
I'm
let's
finding
do
that
the
these,
first one.
I'm finding that the permanent lights are like so regional. It's like
Hmm.
I talk to some people and they're like, "It's taking all my business. I'm losing money to it." And then in my area, it's like I can't sell it for anything. It's just like I don't get it. Like I've gotten 12 quotes for it. That's it. And this many years. So either I'm doing something wrong. I know that I need like a good video that I'm, spending some meta money on. Um, but just naturally from my website and the yard signs and the ads and I'm getting mostly Christmas light
That makes sense.
bids.
That
Yeah.
totally makes sense. I guess it's market dependent. I do know some
Yeah.
installers up in Indianapolis. It's like they're not. It's not enough calls about permanent lights, so you
Yeah.
assume that it's Christmas lights. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can see in an area where it's hot, popular that yeah, people are probably gonna be just associating it as the same.
I swear to God, probably half of our calls were about permanent lights last year compared to Christmas lights, and kind of like my point of emphasizing that, I'm just guessing, probably 80 or 90% of them thought they were talking about Christmas lights at the call, but half of them were about permanent lights they were talking like they wanted. So
Yeah.
that like almost 40% of them will just tell you that they want Christmas lights, but you just need to make sure you're on the same page of what you're talking about. That's all I gotta say about that. Because you'll waste a lot of time if you don't. Yeah. The trades aren't knowing for being cutting edge on technology, but as we all know, AI is here and it's definitely here to stay. The companies winning today are building systems that work 24/7. What's one specific operational mess that your business had, but AI has solved that problem?
Um, yeah, I use AI as much as I can. Like it's definitely solved a lot of content problem. Just it helps you be more creative. As far as like automation, like let's say Gutter Summit per se. Like every morning I wake up and my Slack channel, I have an AI bot in there that gives me a revenue update. I know how many tickets are sold. I know how many vendors have paid. Like every single day, I got a little financial report first thing in the morning to look at. Um, or say if it's gutter growth, like say if a payment didn't go through, I got a notification of who's past due. It's just, so it's kind of automating a lot of that stuff. And I can be like, hey, make an invoice for me, and it'll just do it all on its own and just copy paste it, send it to the person real quick. So it's coming out pretty handy.
So give
I'm
us like
not I'm not into it yet on voice though. I don't not into it with the voice yet.
okay, give us like one practical example upon what you just said. So you have a Slack channel. I'm sure everybody
Yeah.
would be familiar with that platform. So you have a Slack channel. Are you using Claude to say, hey, communicate with Slack to give me a report? Give us like just one piece of practical advice on how you would connect something like that.
I think Claude's one way. I don't know. My partner's the tech guy, so I don't know what he's got set up in there. It could be OpenClaw
Okay.
or Yeah, it might be that. He's a little high tech, but
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, hire someone to help you out with it, get you set up.
Yeah, for sure. Delegate. Yeah,
Yeah.
figure out like okay, we could talk about a lot of AI stuff all day and forever, but one thing that we've implemented this year is a an AI agent. We have a few of them, but basically is um, kind of like three AI agents as far as a conversational bot. Okay, so for example,
On your
my
website?
website, the Tim Crouch fills out the form. Okay, the AI agent or a conversational bot, I name it a takeoff bot. So form gets filled out. It's my takeoff bot. I give it all of the knowledge base that it could possibly need to communicate the way that my business wants to communicate to my customers. So this is in Go High Level, by the way. So I give Go High Level the takeoff bot all the knowledge base so that they can start. So let's say Tim Crouch fills out a Christmas light form at 9:30 p.m. Okay, the takeoff bot will communicate with you within 5 minutes, or whatever your parameters are, and you just start having you give it all the knowledge base. So when Tim says, "Hey, like, you know, how much does it cost for a two-story house? I have 100 lineal feet." Literally, the AI bot can start communicating it back and forth. The whole goal with that is that speed to lead, um, is with that, and so the AI agent can communicate with you to solve your problems and answer questions that you have, and that does not require manual labor from a human, and the idea with that is that it shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to pay for a human to do all that because all of it can be anything that's repetitive, you should think about how can I automate this as much as I can? And that's where a AI agent inside of Go High Level can provide that for you so that Clark isn't, or your sales rep or your receptionist um, does not have to intervene with that. Literally, Tim wants answers about whatever service. He can get answers within that takeoff AI agent conversationally. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that, which I've hired someone on my team to do all that for me because that takes a lot of time and knowledge and implementation. But that's a very interactive, valuable thing for the customer. And then also beyond that is when a quote gets sent, you can have a follow up AI agent conversate about that. If you're interested in something like that, reach out to me. I can send some videos about how I do that, but that's a very
Yeah.
which is gonna save a lot of time operationally with all the back and forth that the customers have is spending time upfront to get the AI agent, uh, you know, basically like you.
That's exactly how to use it, but the main thing I think with AI, though, that the contractors and all trades really need to be paying attention to, even more so than using it, is making sure that you're showing up when people are searching you through it. Like,
Mm,
that's the thing, We could use it for our business, but, like, everyone else is using it too, and if you don't make sure that you're showing up when people are searching on it, you're gonna have a problem in another 2 years here. You know?
1000%.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not found
Yeah.
online and SEO and keyword friendly on
Yep.
your websites and your Facebook pages and social media even. I've typed in stuff, do a deep research on whatever topic, and I can see that it's researching Facebook, um,
It's
YouTube,
everything.
everything, right? Everything. You can see that it's researching that. And so
You could post on Reddit now if you give value, like create a Reddit business page and create value around just questions and stuff that people have. Like if you notice when you use AI, it's always searches Reddit. So it's just like all these things, man. It's searching the whole internet now. It's almost like everything's important now.
yeah, it's a big opportunity that you're losing if you're not thinking
Yeah.
about that. So definitely think about that. It's not just Google anymore. It's Claude. It's
Yep.
all the Gemini. They're searching all that stuff. So um super important that you are not just paying for ads or something like that. So, any other helpful tips for the contractor out there that, is dabbling in some AI stuff? Just any other key points of emphasis that you'd want someone to think about or practice?
A lot of these guys just aren't even using the ChatGPT or Grok or, they're not using anything. So, I mean, I would start there. Start getting familiar with it. Start using it for your personal life. You could ask it recipes. I mean, you'll learn how to use it. Just start using it.
Yeah,
I think if you start there, you'll understand why you need to start doing automation and stuff. But a lot of guys just start, they're not even in the app yet.
that's crazy.
Hmm. It is,
That's
right? It's like, what
insane.
do we do without it?
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. Every contractor says that they're the best, but homeowners don't believe their words anymore, depending on the contractor. Okay. When a homeowner is looking at the cheap quote versus the more expensive quote, what's the invisible corner being cut on the cheap quote that the homeowner wouldn't discover until it's too late? Okay. Maybe they signed the contract and, basically they didn't see any of the red flags because the homeowner didn't really know any better. Can you kind of build on that question?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like you're gonna get what you pay for. Like if you're going for the cheap bid, like they probably can't afford an office staff. They're probably doing all their own work. So you're gonna try to get in touch with them and you're not gonna be able to because they're out doing an install. Your service just isn't gonna be as good. And the businesses are ran more disorganized. Like there's more value in having a company that is gonna come back when you have a problem, or that they're gonna answer the phone when you have a problem. Just that they're gonna answer the phone, period. I mean, and
It's so
that's what you
stupid to
get.
say, but it's so true. It's like answer your
Like
phone.
there's this scandal that just went down in my area, some type of construction company, but they just 5 people just got arrested for some type of fraud. And what it was they had a bunch of shell companies that they were doing like bare minimum work comp um policies. Like they start a new company and say they had no volume just so they could get the paperwork to do it.
Yeah,
Well, like, you know, they were the cheap company, and like a lot of these homeowners felt safe about it, but like they were doing fraud. They were just, millions of dollars that didn't get paid to workers' comp. You got guys on your house that could fall and get hurt. And I've had to make claims before. So, like, that's another thing you got to question. Like, if they're really this cheap, can they afford all the insurances it takes to actually do this job? Like I heard a roofer say the other day, like, one of his jobs, just one job, had like $3,500 worth of insurance just to cover that one job that he had.
jeez. Yeah,
I'm not in the roofing industry, but we have work comp, um, expenses and insurance expenses, and I highly doubt that very, very cheap guy's doing any of that.
I agree with that. One thing I experienced is that some homeowners just don't give a shit. They don't care. They're just like, you know what I mean? It's very
S
like I
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll even send my customers like, here's 5 things to look for in a gutter contractor, right? With the help of AI, of course. So I had just a nice
Yeah.
PDF. Here's the 5 things that you should be looking for in a gutter contractor. One of them is, of course, workman's comp and licensed, insured, and bonded. Okay. I would say probably out of 100 customers that consult us, I would say probably 5 to 10 of them actually ask me, "Are we actually workman's comp and are you licensed and bonded and insured?" I don't know if you've like probably 10 of them out of 100 actually asked me that. Maybe one of them might actually have me bring the paperwork too. I don't know.
Right.
Um, so
I mean,
it's
it's all
important as
fun
a
and it's
contractor
all
for
fun
sure.
and games, and
What's
it's
that?
all fun and game. It's all
Yeah,
fun and games until they get sued because something happened. I've seen it.
1000%.
I've seen it happen too. I've seen it
Yes.
happen several times.
And it's yeah, well, literally one time, the
Yeah.
homeowner is screwed, the contractor is screwed, everybody is screwed. Um, what do they say? You got to pay to play. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Um, If you were hiring a contractor on your home or your project, and it's a trade that you know nothing about. Oh, let's ask you this, Tim. What is a trade that you don't know anything about?
Plumbing.
Okay, what's a warning sign or a red flag that you think that you would see in a plumbing company? Because you know nothing about their trade. Um, what's a red flag for you?
I guess how they show up. I would feel better if they're showing up in like a branded vehicle and uniform and professional, and versus someone just rolling up in a beat up truck and wearing whatever, and you know and answering the phone's a big deal for me too. I honestly rather deal with a company that does have someone in the office, because I don't want to play phone tag games with you.
Yeah. It's like, I want
You
my
know?
problem solved right now, and I have, a light bulb out. I need someone to come fix it. I don't want to talk to your
Yeah.
AI agent. I don't
Right.
talk to some offshore person or whatever. I just want my light bulbs to be working. Send some
Yeah.
please. All right. Yeah. Um, okay. Do you have uniforms for your guys for your Christmas lights company? Like
I do.
they do? Okay. Um, smart. There's so many fun ways to run your Christmas light business, which I've seen. So, well, what's the what's the biggest shift you're making from last year to this year?
Mainly just the contracts. And also last year I was involved in sales. This year I'm exiting sales.
Are you? How many
Yeah.
sales guys are you gonna have for this season?
One, and if it ends up being two, it's probably gonna end up being me doing the overflow. But I hope not.
Do you not want to do it at all? You're just
No, I
no.
don't want to. No.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be a fun journey. I can't wait to hear about it after the season, how it goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna get a lot more calls this year. I dumped like 45 grand into SEO at the beginning of the year, and built out like 32 or 36 city pages on top of it. That just went crazy.
yeah.
I'm doing a blog every week,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's just like I'm really dominating on SEO this year. And
Me
I
too.
wasn't the first couple of years. So it's interesting to see what that's going to do, because I relied so heavy on paid ads last few years. So I'm still going to do, but
Yeah, do all. Do
yeah,
do more and do better. I'm definitely going big focus is on SEO with the technology of where it is now right now. I think
yeah,
SEO is
so
it's
important.
so important to be found. I mean, I literally had someone find me on Claude yesterday for my gutter company. I
Nice.
was like, "Where did you find
Yeah.
us?" He's like, "I went on Claude." You can definitely tell he's like a tech forward guy.
Yeah.
Like, "Yeah, I found you on Claude." I was like, "Well, what'd you type in?" He's like, "Gutter contractor near me." I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Well, where do you live?" He goes, Sacramento." I was like, "That's crazy," because I do have people when I ask that, they find me on ChatGPT or Gemini is really the 2 other ones, but I haven't got one
Yeah.
from Claude, so I got one
It's
from
awesome.
Claude yesterday. That was pretty interesting, and I'm guessing it's because, my SEO is really good.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Mhm,
Yeah. It's just so important.
and with more people.
And even your Facebook, like you're doing things, you're putting videos. I see your reels all the time. So that's how they're searching that too now. Like,
Omnipresent, right? You gotta be
yeah,
omnipresent, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's time, man. It takes a lot of time, effort, money. It's all work, my friends. It is. It's not, throw meta ads up there on yard signs. Yes, all of it will work if you do it at scale. But if you are trying to scale and be omnipresent, you got to also be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube,
I'm on Yelp this
Reels,
year.
Shorts, SEO, all the things.
I'm even doing Angie's leads this year. I don't
Are you?
care. Like, yeah, man. There's 6 grand for there's $4,000 for $6,000 worth of leads. I don't care. That's 240 leads that supposedly they could get me. Like, if I sell 10% of them, I'm gonna clean house. You know?
Yeah, your sales guys will be very busy.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you do all of your estimates for lights in person, or do you do any
yeah,
of it, all of it in person? Yeah,
yeah.
I maybe
But
test.
I got one of the highest ticket prices in the
Yeah, you got it.
country.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to. Um, okay. Sometimes a project doesn't go the way that you want it to go. So it goes sideways because of the work. Okay. Um, because it was misaligned expectations. Okay. What is the number one thing homeowners do that inadvertently signals a red flag to a good contractor? And how can you build trust from that, from there?
Honestly, my worst customers have been my cheapest customers. So if they're super hyper price focused, to me, that's almost a red flag. Like, I've never gotten a bad review out of a gutter installation, but I've gotten bad reviews out of something as small as a $200 gutter clean out. So it's just, to me, it's just like the customer that pays is always your best customer. So I'm not too keen on dropping prices for people. Unless it's a promotion that I'm doing,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna drop my pants for just to get the job because you're probably gonna be my biggest nightmare customer anyways.
Yeah, it's like, hey, a $1,500 minimum, $1,500. Their job is $1,500. I was like, Tim, man, can you do any better for me? Like, I only have
No.
900 to spend. 900. Can you do 900?
No.
Come on, but I know a lot of people. I'm a realtor. I can get you a lot of business, Tim. A lot, I swear.
I'll send him to one of my buddies.
You can't tell you how many times people are like, yeah, I got a big network of people. I'll give you all the business. You know how many times it's been panned out?
Never.
Never. Even big influencers that are in your areas, like they have
Yeah,
100,000
yeah, yeah.
followers. Like I know, like give me half off. Okay, in my younger days when I was in my mid 20s, I would do that. Like give me half off. It was already
Yeah.
underbid. It was already underbid because I didn't really know what I was doing, and then I'm also
Yeah,
getting half off. And
exactly.
then they give me zero referrals. Yeah, that sucks. All right, there's often a wall. There's a wall between the contractor and the homeowner. What's the number one thing you wish every homeowner would know about the contractor, of how the contractor operates his costs, his risk to do the job, and just running a fully insured business that answers the calls? Like, what would you tell the homeowner out there with a business like yours that they
Yeah.
should know,
I mean,
right?
there's something that I think homeowners don't know is I don't think that they know how much us contractors are paying to actually even get an estimate to even talk to them. And so it's just like,
So how
don't
much are
blow
you
off.
paying for that,
It
roughly?
could be 70, it could be $75. So, I've talked to roofers that have like $700 lead costs, by the time it's said and done. So I mean that's kind of wild to me, but they have bigger ticket prices for sure. So
Yeah.
Google's hitting them over
Right.
the head. But I wish homeowners knew that. Like,
Yeah.
don't waste our time. Like, don't try to get a quote and then not show up for the quote or not let us get it scheduled. Like, you're wasting a lot of contractors' money and time. So that's one thing I wish homeowners knew.
Have you considered, yeah, I totally agree with that. It sucks wasting everybody's time, and I get it.
Yeah.
You want the best price for the best service. I get all that, and it, yeah,
I mean, think about it. If it was say it's like a $1,500, $200 job or something, and they called out 6, 7 companies,
the
it's
worst
just like
client, by the way. It's the
Google's making all
worst.
the money.
It's the
Google's
worst.
making all. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Even like as simple as gutter cleaning. Okay, we do gutter cleanings, whatever. It's like, okay, it's $249. We can be there this week, like tomorrow or Friday, right? And the
yeah.
customer's like, yeah, I'm gonna go shop around and go figure out. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, you're gonna go shop around for some gutter cleaners out there. It's like
It's crazy.
probably not the right customer for me. I'll still work
Yeah,
with
that's
them,
that
earn
that's
it,
that
but like,
pain in the ass customer.
yeah, like, come on, like, she's some gutter cleaning, okay? There's definitely some process, like, gutter cleaning is a gutter cleaning, obviously, like, the cleanup after the gutter cleaning is where you'll get the bad review or the good review, so
I started selling more gutter cleanings when I just made it an over the phone sale.
oh,
That's
yeah.
that's the only exception I make. Like, I
Yep.
will I will quote your clean out over the phone.
Yeah,
Just sign it like sign it and let's go, you know?
1000%. Um, have you thought about charging for estimates?
I've thought about it. I don't know. I've thought about it. I
I'm
don't know
still
how.
thinking about it. I may test it for like my next 20 customers, and it's either $99 or $149. Obviously, it gets applied to the thing, but the
I
whole
like the
idea with
idea
that is so that
for
I can qualify the customer if they're serious or not. Right, $99. Okay, it's not that much money, but it would tell me if you're serious or not.
I like the idea for like repairs or like, if they just got problems and issues that they want inspected for you to tell them what the problem is. Like I feel like there's more time involved in that than just a normal estimate.
Because that would cover your costs, right? $70
Yeah.
and your guy out there to go take a look at it and go give him a bid.
Yeah. Now you're paying, at least you're paying for the cost of the lead.
Yeah, at least you're not losing money.
I guarantee your close rate will be higher. Like I don't know how many.
Yes.
I think it's like a pre-qualifying thing, right? So if you have like enough volume of leads coming in, you're gonna get some people that might not do it, but I guarantee you the people that actually paid or they're gonna convert to a real job. They're already got skin in the game.
Yeah, they have a little bit of skin in the game.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so it's something to test out there and to think about. Because
Let me know how
everybody
that
does free
goes.
estimates, but if you kind of uniquely set yourself apart by, obviously frame it in the way that's like, this is in the benefit of you, customer, always frame it that way. But it's not like I'm
Yeah.
just trying to charge you just to get money. It's like, no, there's a real cost to send a professional expert out there to go see your problems.
Yep.
Especially if it's roofing or an install of gutters or
Right.
even a Christmas light display or landscape lighting or whatever, anything over $1,000. It's probably, it honestly probably should be charged. I don't know. Maybe we should make that industry standard, Tim, is
I
99 bucks.
like it.
You'll get a free estimate, $50. I don't know. Something better than
Yeah.
zero.
Yeah. It's one of those things that get hard to get everyone to do, but I feel like it'd be a smart thing to do. I'm totally not against it if you got enough lead flow for it.
What's one other thing that you would want the homeowner out there to know about a contractor?
As far as what? Like as far as like what who to choose or
Yeah, like what's the one thing that would get a customer to do business with 4 or 5 different businesses, right? They got um Griswold Christmas lights, they got Santa's lights, they got Indie Christmas lights, and they got blah blah blah, some other Christmas light company. What would you want the customer to know so that they can literally make the right decision for themselves? Because a cheap customer, I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Like, what would you say? They're all good businesses, but what would you want to tell that customer? Yeah, tell that lead, tell that customer so that they can make the right call.
I mean, I think I would go off of reviews are always important to me. Like if I had five companies and one of them's got amazing reviews and the other one's got a couple, questionables, I probably made my decision, So I think that's pretty important.
I agree.
Even what like
Reviews
say
for sure.
yeah, man, if I'm thinking like if I'm looking for a good restaurant, I'm out of town, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the area. I'm looking for a restaurant. I always hit that, 5-star or 4 and above. I only wanna see the good restaurants,
Yeah.
everyone else ought to smash, and I usually end up with a pretty decent restaurant.
Yeah. It's like 4.0 or higher. You're probably good.
Yeah,
3.5 or below. It's like, ugh. Yeah.
yeah,
Or even 3.8 is like, for me, I'm like, probably not. It's gotta be 4.0.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you take anything away from this podcast, one pro tip based upon the Google reviews or getting a review. Okay. You go out to do an estimate, you don't get the estimate sold. No problem, Karen or Tim or Mrs. Jones. If you appreciated our service to come out here and give you a consult and just share with our service, I know we didn't earn your business today, but it would be awesome for you to leave us a review. I would love to send you just a quick link. Takes you 10 seconds to fill that out. Would you do that for us, Mrs. Jones and Tim? Oh, there you go. Get that Google review, get that Google reviews up so that when someone is looking at your company, you got 100 of them on there and
Yep.
20 of them, you didn't do business with them, but you still got a nice review. And At the end of the day, that's worth something.
It is. It's your digital assets.
Yeah. All right. Well, where can people find you, Tim?
Well, you could find me at a Gutter Summit this year in New Orleans. We got the event on September 23rd, 24th, and 25th. You could get tickets at guttersummit.com. Super good event. You know, gutter cleaners, gutter installation guys, Christmas light guys. It's all a good place to come. We're gonna have some Christmas light vendors. Clip is gonna be there doing certifications on the 22nd on pre-show day. But you could always reach out, DM me, Tim Crouch. Um, I answer everybody, so just shoot me a message and we can have a conversation.
That's awesome. And then how many years is Gutter Growth on its trajectory? How many years have you been doing this? Or what year is this one, I should say?
So probably about 3.5 years now.
3.5 years? That's awesome.
Yep. Yep. We got hundreds of gutter guys that we're coaching. Um, I love doing what I'm doing, man. Like every day, it seems like I got some good news. Like this morning, someone posted in our group that he just hit his first $100,000 month, and like I've been working with this guy for a year, so that's like incredible from where he started at. And then just like 3 days ago, we had another guy. When he got to the program about 13, 14 months ago, he was doing like 60 grand a month. The dude just had a $240,000 month last month. So it's just like that type of thing really makes me feel good. I love what I'm doing and
Yeah.
just gonna keep doing more of it.
Well, right on. Thank you, Tim. If you like the podcast like this and I didn't ask a question that you're just totally curious to know, comment below, comment Tim, send him a DM. Ask us some good questions that you would want to know so that we can answer those questions wherever it may be so we can give you guys more value. This is just the tippy top of the iceberg when it comes to operating a successful business and learning from mistakes from guys like us who have been doing it. We're going to make a ton more out there for sure, but we want to give as much value to people out there that are doing their thing, not only for the business owners, but also I hope that the average homeowner can also get value from seeing business owners talk about things like this. So you can kind of get that full circle 360 wide lens so that we can make this world a better place and a more valuable place so that we can uh, do better. Okay. So signing off. Thank you, Tim. We'll see you next time, my friend.
Thanks, Clark.